I'm going to show you how to make classic American pancakes on the flat top griddle. And I'm going to load it up with smashed pulled pork patties.
A big thanks to Bravura by Herstone Outdoor for sponsoring this episode.
Yesterday I turned this bust and butt into delicious pulled pork. I rubbed it with some mustard and then I made a delicious barbecue rub called the Tweety rub, consisting of 2 tablespoons of salt, half a tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of curcuma, 2 tablespoons of paprika powder, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, half a tablespoon of garlic powder, half a tablespoon of chili flakes, and a teaspoon of ground black pepper. And with that I coated the outside of my bust and butt until it looked like this. Overnight I smoked it at a temperature of 110 degrees Celsius. When I took it off and pulled it apart, it looked like this. Oh, so juicy, so tender. And that bark was extra firm and crispy. This is how I like my pulled pork. To reheat my pulled pork, I'm going to use my Bravura flat top griddle. I'm firing it up with all 3 burners on and set them to a low temperature. And while the flat top griddle is warming up, I'm going to place on my pulled pork so it can heat up together. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how to make pancakes. Delicious, fluffy pancakes. Take out your blender, set it up, put in 1½ cup all-purpose flour, 3½ tablespoons of baking powder, a tablespoon of white sugar, a pinch of salt, 1½ cup of milk, an egg, and 3 tablespoons of melted butter, or even better, fat that came from the pulled pork. Blitz it up until you have a nice batter. The pulled pork is now warm. Let's check it out. Oy. Let's shred this up and turn it into proper pulled pork. First step is to get that bone out. Look at the delicious pulled pork. We gotta shred all this into tiny bits for our recipe. Even if this is reheated pulled pork, look at how beautiful that is. Absolute perfection. I got my flat top griddle set to the lowest setting with all burners on, which means we're going to get a medium to gradual heat. And that's what we need for our pancakes, because we're making American style pancakes that are going to be a little bit more fluffy than the Dutch pancakes. Traitor, yeah, I know, sorry, do apologize. You see this? You know what that is? That is the lard from the pulled pork that we saved up from yesterday's cook. And we're going to use it to fry the pancakes with. Look at that. That's going to be more than enough. And now all I need to do is pour on the batter, wait for it to rise. And the golden rule is with the first pancake, it might fail. But don't worry about that. You'll get the hang of it. First time is a fail. Do another one until you succeed. Trying to make sure it's non-stick. Flip it around. Whoa, not bad for the first one. Personally, I always use that first one as a taster because I'm hungry. That's looking good. Now, we got a beautiful fluffy pancake and I'm going to store it to keep it warm. I'm going to place it in my cast iron pan, and that cast iron pan will retain the heat. So when we stack it up, pancake after pancake, it's just going to be nice and warm in there until we're ready to eat. A little bit more lard. Time for the second pancake. And you can see by the bubbles that this is a much fluffier pancake than the Dutch pancake. It has so much air inside of it. All right, nice and light brown. That's what I'm looking for. Hop, flip, splatter. I'm gonna do a couple more of these until all of the batter is gone. Look at how beautiful the pancakes turned out. Absolutely gorgeous. Nice and fluffy, way thicker than the Dutch version of the pancake. But keep in mind, it's not super heavy. It is fluffy because we use baking powder to make it fluffy, like a cake. Now it's time for the next phase. We're gonna stack this up to make them fully loaded pancakes. I'm gonna place a pancake on first, and then we're gonna take out the pulled pork and make a pancake out of pulled pork. Now the magic is that this stuff works just like with a burger. You take a handful of it, and there's a lot of fat in it, and you spread it out just like you would with a pancake. We're trying to aim for about the same size, and I'm going to use 2 spatulas to make them into a smashed pulled pork burger. First flat spatula on, and then with the back of the other one, start pressing it fine. As you can see, this turned into a pancake. I can move it around, it's just sliding on top of the flat top griddle. Now the trick is to flip it around and not break it, which is going to be a scary thing, I have to admit. This is not a fail-safe procedure. All right, here we go. A single flip. Oh my, the first one, we did it. Look at that crust. It just looks so freaking good. Once it crispened up, it's time to take it off carefully and place it on top of the pancake. Ooh, that looks good.
This is a healthy breakfast.
Yeah, nobody was talking about healthy until you brought it up. Why did you bring it up? You can always be healthy later on. I'm gonna place on another pancake, and then I'm going to continue to make pulled pork. The trick is to really push out the fat from the pulled pork patty. The more fat you push out, the better the pulled pork pancakes are gonna be. And you really gotta go in there with your full weight, and you see how much fat is coming out. This is the third time of me pressing it. Look at it, it's just oozing out. And all that fat, if you leave it in, it's gonna make your pulled pork patty fall apart. There we go. This is looking pretty good. I'm gonna carefully lift it up a little bit, see if it breaks. And you can see this part here might break on me. So that's the part what I'm gonna flip on. I'm gonna go like 1, 2, 3. Quick flip, no hesitations. And then keep on frying the other side. Push out a little bit more fat. That is a welcoming breakfast. Or if you live in the Netherlands, it's gonna be dinner. This beautiful stack of pancakes is now ready to be eaten, and I sacrificed myself as a volunteer to eat all of it. However, I would like to have a little bit of syrup on top. But we can't just have a syrup, we gotta have a special syrup. Which starts with a barbecue sauce made out of 2 cups of ketchup, a 1/4 cup of molasses, a 1/4 cup of honey, a tablespoon of Easy Reaper hot sauce, or any other hot sauce you like, and a tablespoon of PitmasterX's classic barbecue rub. Then mix it up, let it come to a boil, and when you have that slow simmer, your barbecue sauce is done. And then I'm gonna mix a cup of the spicy Carolina barbecue sauce with 1/2 cup of syrup. And that's how you create a super tasty pancake syrup. Of course, I've gotta have some butter on top, right there. And then I'm gonna pour on the barbecue syrup. Let's slice into this. And oh my, that is super tricky because we got that crunchy pulled pork. Are we going to make it? There we go. Wow. Woo! That looks tasty. Now, who wouldn't want to try that? Should you? Should you? Man, I can't wait. A little bit more syrup. All right, I apologize in advance. Pure genius. Just the stacks and the layer of pulled pork together with pancakes. It's so simple and so tasty. You just gotta make this recipe. Come on, let's be real. Just go to pitmasterx.com, check out the recipe. In the meantime, I'll just take care of this. Don't worry.